Have you ever snapped at someone over something completely ridiculous? Like, you know in the moment it's not about the dirty dish or the question they asked, but you can't stop yourself? Yeah. That was me standing in my kitchen at the end of a really long day when the sound of a spoon hitting the counter made me completely lose it. Hi, I'm Clara, and today I'm breaking down The Day I Stopped Reacting by Inner Growth Press in about 10 minutes. This book literally changed how I understand my own emotional reactions, and I hope this helps you too, so stick around and let me know if this was useful. Look, this book has 11 chapters covering everything from triggers to trauma, to why money makes us spiral. But it all comes down to one core idea. Your emotional reactions aren't a character flaw. They're your nervous system trying to protect you based on old information. Here's what we're covering today. Why you react before you can even think. The 4 automatic survival responses your body has. The pause that changes everything. How to actually regulate when you're triggered. And why Chapter 10 on money stress is mind-blowing. So, make sure you watch until the end because this builds on itself. And honestly, if you feel like this is something you need, subscribe. I made it my purpose to bring you real tools that help you improve your life 1% at a time. Small shifts, big impact. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. The book explains that a trigger isn't proof that you're broken or that you lack self-control. It's actually a learned alarm. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for danger, mostly outside your awareness, and when it picks up on something, a tone of voice, a pause in conversation, even the way someone looks at you, it can activate the same stress response you had when something actually was dangerous in your past. And get this, your body can't tell the difference between real danger and remembered pain. That's wild, right? So when your partner asks, "Are you okay?" in a certain tone and you suddenly feel defensive, that's not about them. That's your nervous system saying, "Hey, I remember this feeling, and last time, it didn't go well." The book breaks down what the author calls the moment that changed everything. It was this scene in a kitchen where the author snapped over a spoon hitting the counter. Not because of the spoon, but because everything underneath, the exhaustion, the pressure to hold it together, the unspoken stress, had been building. And honestly, I've been there. You've probably been there too. Now before you think, okay, but what do I actually do when I'm triggered? Here's what the book says is happening automatically in your body. There are 4 main survival responses, and they're not moral choices. They're just patterns. 1. Fight. You argue, correct, defend, bristle at any challenge. Everything feels like a threat that needs to be shut down. 2. Flee. You change the subject, leave the room, scroll your phone, find any exit. You just need out. 3. Freeze. You go blank. Lose your words, forget what you wanted to say, your mind just stops. And 4. Fawn. You people please. Smooth everything over. Apologize even when you don't need to. Anything to make the tension disappear. The book says these responses aren't wrong. They once made sense somewhere in your history. I mean, look, when you were younger and anger wasn't safe, you learned to flee or fawn. When love felt unpredictable, you learned to freeze and wait it out. The problem is when these patterns run your present life on yesterday's settings. And here's the kicker. Because this process is physiological, meaning it starts in your body, not just your thoughts, the way back has to involve the body too. You can't just logic your way out of a trigger. Your nervous system needs different cues. This is where things get crazy. The book talks about the pause, this tiny moment between trigger and reaction where awareness lives. That pause is the beginning of regulation. Here's how it works. When you're triggered, your body moves first and the story follows. By the time you notice what's happening, you're already speaking too fast or shutting down completely. But with practice, you can catch it earlier. You start to feel the heat rising, the chest tightening, the breath getting shallow, and instead of being hijacked by it, you recognize it. The book gives these grounding techniques to send safety signals to your nervous system. Slow breathing, especially long exhales, reminds your vagus nerve there's time to settle. Grounding through your senses, feel your feet on the floor, notice the temperature, let your eyes rest on something steady. Gentle, self-soothing, hand on your chest, relaxing your jaw, speaking to yourself like you would to someone you love. To be fair, none of this erases the past. It doesn't make triggers disappear, but it gives your body different cues to read so your mind can join the conversation with more clarity and less urgency. Now, I used to get so frustrated when people said just breathe or just calm down, like cool, thanks, that's super helpful. But here's what the book explains that actually makes sense. Stress tools don't heal trauma. They help you regulate in the moment. But if you've experienced trauma, whether it's one big event or lots of smaller hurts over time, your nervous system is operating differently. The alarm is slightly raised all the time. You're more reactive to everyday stress because your body expects danger. The book goes deep into polyvagal theory, basically how your vagus nerve controls whether you feel safe or threatened. Dr. Stephen Porges discovered that your nervous system is constantly scanning for cues of safety and threat, and it makes decisions before your conscious mind even knows what's happening. So when someone says, "Why do you always overreact?" You're not overreacting. Your body is remembering before your mind catches up. And honestly, that reframe alone is huge. It's not about control. It's about understanding what your body is trying to tell you. Okay, so everyone keeps talking about Chapter 10, and I get why. The book dedicates an entire chapter to financial stress, and it's eye-opening. Here's what it says. Financial stress is different from other stress because it activates shame at the core. Money connects to worth, safety, survival. When you're stressed about money, your nervous system reads it as a literal threat to your existence. And it's not wrong. You need money to survive. So your body panics in ways it doesn't when you're just stressed about, I don't know, a messy house. The chapter breaks down why your financial struggles aren't your fault. It's nervous system plus systemic issues. How to tell the difference between real financial threat and nervous system overreaction. Grounding techniques for financial panic, because regular anxiety tools don't always work here. How to have money conversations without spiraling. And get this, it says money and worth are not the same. But your nervous system doesn't know that. So when you're in debt or struggling, your body treats it like you're worthless. That's why financial stress feels so personal and so overwhelming. I went on Amazon and read the reviews. Here's what people love about this book. It doesn't just tell you what to do. It explains why you're not doing it already. You know you shouldn't yell at your kids when you're triggered. You know you should set boundaries. You know deep breathing helps. But when the moment comes, you still react. Why? Because knowing isn't the same as nervous system regulation. The book says real transformation is about retraining your body to recognize what safety feels like. And that takes practice. It's not a straight line. You'll have moments when you feel like you're going backward, but each time you choose awareness over reaction, you're literally rewiring the pathways. So here's what you do with this information. Start noticing your patterns. Do you fight, flee, freeze, or fawn? When? With whom? Build in the pause. Even 2 seconds of awareness before reacting changes everything. Use body-based regulation, breathing, grounding, self-soothing. Your nervous system needs physical cues. Look, I just condensed 185 pages into 10 minutes. But if you want the full depth, the exercises, the stories, the step-by-step process for regulating anxiety, trauma, overthinking, relationship triggers, financial stress, link to the book is in the description. I also created a free 5-minute emotional regulation toolkit with the exact techniques from the book you can use today. Links are in the description. Download it, try it for a week, and let me know how it goes. And if you want more book summaries like this, next time I'm breaking down the 369 Manifestation Method book, also by Inner Growth Press. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Let me know in the comments. Which chapter of this book sounds most useful to you? The triggers? The money stress? The relationship patterns? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.